Just when you thought Astell&Kern has done it all, they've raised the portable audio bar with the release of the SP3000M DAP. M standing for mobile. The SP3000M is just that, an ultra-portable DAP.
Let's check this out, baby.
Let's check this out, baby.
Well, I said it wrong. Let's check this baby out.
So right here with us today, we've got 3 AK DAPs, the SR35, the SP3000, and the brand new SP3000M. I mean, you can obviously tell there is a difference in size that we've got going on here, with the newest one being almost the smallest.
Yeah. So we're going from a 5.5 inch screen down to a 4.1 inch screen. And the thought process here is not just about making it smaller, but also trying to save battery life, right? We want to try and fit exactly the same circuit technology and amazing sound that's in the SP3000 into the M model. So essentially we had to cut, well, not we, Astell&Kern had to cut some corners somewhere. So they went with a smaller screen size to get a smaller battery size, thus keeping the same battery life at about 10 hours, give or take, depending on the load of the headphones.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, there's the only circuit change that I'm aware of is that the hardware chips that are used for the DAR technology have been removed. We're now doing it via the Snapdragon, and it's done via software algorithms to do all the upsampling from PCM to DSD audio. So all of that, as well as reducing the circuitry, reducing the screen size, is what saves us some battery life. The performance of the amplifier is exactly the same, so they didn't put a smaller amplifier in it, they didn't put a smaller DAC in it, we're using the exact same chips. For the most part, it's the same thing. I dare to truly hear the differences when using PCM between the two players. Now, obviously, when they do the upsampling to DSD, we're only upsampling up to DSD 64 in the M model, and all the way up to 256 and 512 on the SP3000.
Okay.
The good news is, let's say you've got a DSD library. Now, the M will still do native DSD conversion all the way up to those highest resolutions. So the only suffering point, and I don't really call it a suffering point, is that we're doing DAR technology via software. And the DAR technology, when it converts it to DSD, essentially gives a little bit of a bigger presentation. But the bottom line is, at high resolution and PCM formats, you're still getting pretty close to that. And it's really more of a different tonality than it really is a big difference in sonic quality. I think the trade-offs are without a doubt well worth it to get the smaller size, because it's a lot more portable and it's really nice to hold in your hand at that size. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. And if I remember correctly, they would switch the DAR technology to software because, I mean, we got a little bit of a smaller format, so we're kind of taking away some of that extra space that the hardware would have done. But yeah, we both burned lots of hours on these 2 DAPs right here. And in my opinion, I think that it would take the most trained ear to really tell the difference between the two. In terms of sound quality, like, they're practically identical, dare I say, identical. There's the clear cosmetic differences. Drew mentioned it earlier, but you could see right here that with the SP3000, we get 3 headphone jacks. On this one, we only get 2 difference. They dropped the 2.5 millimeter on the 3000 and went ahead with a balanced 4.4 and a 3.5.
The 2.5's always been problematic, so I'm glad it's slowly going away.
Yeah, it just makes for, I feel like, an easier listening experience, just with when you're buying a headphone and you've got the stock cable, kind of just what it's coming with already. Another difference is that they also created a dedicated power button, which is actually something that I liked about it. I felt like it was nice because you still get the clicky little volume wheel and stuff, but the LED light is gone.
Yeah, so the cool LED light that tells you the different resolution, sorry, not frequency response, resolution colors telling you what you are in PCM or DSD, although I can never remember which color is what, so I mean, you've got to go into the manual and check it out anyway. It is a cool feature to see that light there, but they had to do away with that. They've also changed, if you see on the side, we've got the case on this one, but they've etched in the metal here a geometric pattern that resembles what they're calling a diamond structure, which is kind of cool. I like when they do some of this stuff with the chassis work. It was a little bit plainer on the SP3000. I mean, it's still cool chassis work, but I really like and dig what they did right there with the volume control. And it all comes to a point where the volume control points out as well.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of chassis, they actually ditched the stainless steel chassis that you get in the 3000 and opted for an aluminum in the M. So not only are you getting a smaller size, but it's so much lighter too.
Yeah.
And for portability's sake, like, it just makes more sense. And the reason why we've got the SR35 right here is because if you can tell, like, these two are pretty close in size.
Yeah.
There's really like maybe a 1/4 inch, if that, in difference. They weigh about the same. But for this to be the new mobile option, I'm really pleased with it. I had no problem using it with IEMs, headphones. It was really easy. Quite versatile too.
Yeah, I mean, the performance improvement on the M over the SR35 at not much size difference is pretty big. I mean,
Yeah.
it's obviously all the Astell&Kerns are fantastic, and so it's not a night and day difference. It's not like listening to something that was from like 20 years ago in terms of sound quality. The performance is still there with the SR35 and a great bang for the buck unit. But in terms of the difference in sound quality for the size, I mean, just amazing. And I would imagine, I would think that they're probably going to come out with some different variants of colors on the SP3000M. I mean, they do it with every model. Whether they're going to do a stainless steel or a copper, I don't know, because it sort of doesn't make sense to make it heavier. That being said, I want a copper one.
Yeah.
So I don't really care about the weight of it, to be totally honest, but the size, I really like the form factor and the way I can hold it in my hand and scroll through with my one thumb on the volume control and
Yeah,
stuff.
super easy.
I've got smaller hands, and so with the SP3000, it's a little bit bigger and it's hard to manage with one
Yeah, it's
hand.
like holding like an iPhone Max Pro when you're holding that thing. One nice thing that I did like is that they included the VU meter. That's a little a taste that we get from the SP3000T. And while this doesn't have the tubes, it's still super cool and a nice little nod for you to have when you're listening. They're all nice DAPs, but I will say that if you're looking for ultra portable, versatile, genre-wise, like, I didn't have a problem really listening to anything with the SP3000M. It stays consistent with that tried and true kind of AK sound signature.
Yep. And the internal storage is the same as the SP3000. It's rated at using a 1.5 terabyte micro SD card as well. I'm sure, honestly, I bet a 2 would work. The Snapdragon that they introduced in the 3000 is super fast. The SP3000T has it as well. The M has it. They're all super fast GUI interfaces, which is very important. Any kind of lag on the screen is really a disappointment when it comes to DAPs these days. So the fact that they've been able to keep, the same Snapdragon size in there in the circuitry and the same power to drive it and so forth, and keep that incredibly fast. I hate scrolling through the music and, the album artwork, all of a sudden you've got to wait for it to catch up to where you scrolled through.
Yeah.
Super fast. All of these 3000 models are super fast in terms of that, which helps with the micro SD cards and be able to super fast scan through them, all the data that you've got on there. So, hats off to Astell&Kern. They keep banging it out of the park.
Yeah, no, I agree. And they just keep getting better, finding more ways to just reduce the size, smaller form factor without having to compromise on performance and sound quality, which is always appreciated because I feel like when you see something like this right off the bat, you are going to have those types of concerns. But rest assured, no issues here with the SP3000M. We don't have it here with us today, but there is an included case. So it's a taupe case, leather, Italian leather at that. So ultra portable. What's better than buying the DAP and getting the case in the same box?
Yeah. Most of I'd say about 50% of them come with a case. Some of them, and 50% don't come with a case. And it's always confusing which ones do and which ones don't. I wish they would just include them with all of them. Makes it so much easier. But yeah, it's a very nice soft plush leather on this one. I like it a lot.
Yeah, super nice. Very sleek, nice form factor to it. So I do have some questions that I would like us to answer. If you didn't check it out, we did a preview video on the day that the SP3000M launched on YouTube, and we got quite a bit of comments and questions about it. So I figured this could be a good opportunity for us to go through some of them.
Sure.
So the first question I've got is, I wanted to buy an SP3000, but it's missing from your store and other online stores. Does this mean that the SP4000 is about to come to the market?
We know there's a 4000 coming. We don't have a date. It isn't anytime soon, I can tell you that. I mean, they're really busy working on it. It's going to be sometime next year. I'm not really sure yet. You know, that can change at any moment. They're really hush-hush with that kind of stuff. You know, there's still some SP3000s out there. We don't have any more. We're done. But you can still get one if you want one. But honestly, for the size form factor of the M and the performance and the less money, I mean, why? You know, so no idea when the 4000's coming, no idea the features, form factor, anything about it.
Yes, but there will be a 4000. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
So going off of that, let's talk a little bit about the SP3000T. Given that we have the SP3000M and SP3000T at Moon Audio currently, and they're kind of transitioning away from the SP3000 as they come out with new releases, between the two, what should I buy?
Oof, I mean, that, you know, it really comes down to sound signature. I mean, the 3000 series is very detailed, analytical, tight, controlled, you know, incredible for strings and whatnot. The SP3000T, well, what do you have in there? You've got the new tube technology in there, which gives you a much warmer musical tonality. Now, the cool thing about the T is that you can transition between op-amp based and the tube technology and anywhere in between to tailor the sound. So, I mean, it has a ton of flexibility. So really, it just comes down to sound signature that you prefer. So if you want a very musical, warm tonality, then the 3000T with the new tube technology is the way to go. Now, the cool thing about this player is that you can go back and forth between op-amp based or the new tubes, and you can go anywhere in between to tailor the sound for what you're really desiring that day and what kind of mood you're in. I'm a detail freak, so the 3000 series has a ton of detail, resolution, clarity. It still has more than the T, so that player is for me. But I definitely use the T as well, depending on my moods. And then it comes down to what headphones do you have? Do you have a headphone that's a little tipped more forward that you need to smooth out and clean up, or not clean up, but just warm and get it a little more musical? Then the T makes sense.
Yeah.
Have something that's way too laid back and lush. You know, some of the headphones out there might be a little boring and you want to pep it up, then the 3000 is going to do a better job of that. Obviously with IEMs, you want something as small as possible because you're in the most portable solution scenario that you're trying to desire, then the M's going to make the most sense. So
yeah, and that was another thing that I was going to add. Another thing to consider is form factor.
Yeah.
So the SP3000T size is a little more comparable to the OG 3000 than the M. So if you are using it for portable, then maybe lean to the M, but at the end of the day, it's whatever you like to listen to. The difference between Drew and I is that I like laid back, warm, and lush. So the 3000T would be something that I would gravitate toward, but if I'm listening on the go, then it's the M all the way.
And if you live in Minnesota, the T will warm up your hands, so you can use it as a hand warmer. It doesn't get super hot, but it does get warmer because of the tube technology. So
that was good. That was good. So we talked about this a little earlier, but I do want to clarify this. What is its internal storage capacity? What can it be expanded to? They need it to go to 2 terabyte.
Yeah, so you can do 256 internally on any of the 3000 players, and then the M is rated at 1.5 terabyte SD card, micro SD card that is. I don't think you're going to have a problem with a 2 terabyte card. I mean, every time they put that on there, it's really for their own safety factor, if you will, in terms of they didn't want to say, well, it got a little laggy with a 2 terabyte, but I've got a 2 terabyte card and it has no problem. And I wouldn't say I've got 2 terabytes of music on the card, but it's pretty well filled up and I don't have any issues. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have any problems if you do need to expand and get some additional storage on there. All right, so last question. Just found out the SP3000M won't have the volume crown LED light indicator. Why? Well, I don't know why. RIP, we're all gonna miss it. But my assumption maybe could be because they have a dedicated power button now though, but I don't really know. We haven't done any digging on that.
Well, I mean, again, they're trying to save, circuit space, right? The circuit's got to have
True.
LEDs on it. You've got to power the LEDs. The light's on all the time, so you're using energy. So it's, it's an energy saving feature as well. So, it's all about just trying to get the player as small as possible. So.
Okay, what if I want to get my library over to the player? What am I using for that?
So there's a couple of different ways to transfer. You can use Bluetooth Sync. Note one thing on Apple, the Android transfer software, it has not been updated for the latest Mac releases, but I know there's a paid version of a different program that we just found. I can't remember the exact name of it, but we'll be happy to put it in the comments, and we'll probably put it in the AK blog on all the music transfer scenarios. We've got more information on that transfer blog about how to do it in Windows, how to get your iTunes library transferred, all that stuff. So it's not that complicated, but there is a change in Mac right now. Mac's constantly making updates to their OS and always putting somebody out to the pasture. So
there you go. Yeah. There you have it. What Dragon cable are you going to recommend with the SP3000M?
Well, obviously, it's just going to depend on what headphones you're going to use with it. If you've got a bright and analytical headphone, then you're going to want to possibly go with a Black Dragon. If you've got a much more laid back and you're looking for more resolution, then you're going to want to go with the Silver Dragon. If you just want a neutral, natural, organic sound, then the Blue Dragon's always going to be your best choice for that.
So another question, what if I want to use the SP3000M with the cord Hugo too? How would I connect to that?
So definitely in that scenario, I'd use the Silver Dragon USB cable. You're going to be using a USB-C on the SP3000M, and then on the Hugo, you're going to use a micro B on that side. That's our best USB cable. We're actually working on a premium version with the micro B. We don't have that connector yet on the premium USB cable page, but we may have that. Or we may stay tuned if there's going to be a Hugo 3, and maybe they'll go to a USB-C like they did with the Mojo 2. So I don't know. There's going to be a Hugo 3, but I thought I'd just throw that out there. So.
Yeah, we do have the Silver Dragon Premium USB is available in USB C to C connection. So if that is something that you're looking for, we do have that option available for you. We've got a slew of connections. So don't forget to head over to our website at moon-audio.com, explore our Dragon audio cables, explore our sound signature options, and upgrade that cable today. Well, there you have it. If you're in the market for a portable DAP that's versatile sounding with the ability to handle all your high-res tunes and more, choose the SP3000M. It comes with a case. It's got a balanced 4.4. It's lightweight. It's small. I mean, what more could you possibly want? If you want more information on the SP3000M, we have a full dedicated written review that's going to be linked in the description below, as well as a review on the SP3000T if you liked what you heard today about it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below with any questions that you might have, and don't forget to hit that subscribe bell so you never miss a new video. Thanks so much for watching.
Take care.